Hey folks, it's Eric from Rising Nomad, and I just got back from Koh LANTA. I'm back on PHANGAN, and this video is going to be about my impressions of LANTA and basically answering the question: is Koh LANTA the next Koh PHANGAN? Now, the reason it's phrased like this is because a lot of people are seeing the changes on the island of Koh PHANGAN, and for example, the rising housing costs and the more luxurious travelers that are coming here and feel that it might be over for these like laid-back hippie vibes and sort of like alternative culture stuff that the island became famous for. Now, that's debatable because I feel like a lot of the luxury travelers who come here are looking for that vibe, but a lot of people are making noise. The cost of living is a big issue for a lot of people, especially broke backpackers and stuff like that. And they made this place what it was, what it is, I suppose, today. And so basically you have to analyze what way is this place going to change. Is it going to become another Tulum, Mexico? Is it going to become another Bali, Indonesia? Or is it going to be its own thing moving forward? I love it here. I think it very much is still its own thing, but yes, it is changing very rapidly. And there's money coming in. So let's kind of just like go through my trip. And I've been here living on the island of Koh PHANGAN for the last 6 months, or just about, and another 4 months last year, so 10 months over the last 15 months, let's say, something like that. And I went with my band. We went to play a couple gigs in Koh LANTA. On the way, we stopped in Ao Nang, which is a beach town outside of the city of Krabi, and Koh LANTA is also part of the province of Krabi. And it's really interesting because this is a place where there's a third of the population is Muslim in terms of religion. I was doing some research into it, and they do speak Thai as their main language, but they are, I believe, of Malay descent, and they practice the Muslim religion. So Ao Nang had a very interesting flavor, something a little bit different than these mainstream Thai tourist destinations like Samui, Phuket, and a bunch of other places I haven't been. And so it was, the flair of Islamic culture in Ao Nang gave a really interesting flavor. It reminded me of some like Turkish Mediterranean city like Izmir or Bodrum that I've been to, with that flair of Islamic culture. And it's a favored destination in Thailand for travelers from the Islamic world. So it didn't have as much of the blatant sort of Thai, girl bar industry. Had a bit of that. Ao Nang was a very interesting vibe to take in for a day, and a lot more upscale than I thought it would be, definitely, and a lot less trashy than I thought it would be. Lots of new buildings and stuff like that. So let's get on to the main point here. Koh LANTA. Basically, we got there and we were playing this lovely place called Paddy's Secret Garden by the sea. And they were having an art market that day, or a market with like food and clothing and all this artistic stuff. And it very much felt like the art market that you have here in PHANGAN at the Siam Healing Center, but just a much smaller version. But I noticed when I got there, there was a different vibe with the people. Because PHANGAN has a hype. It has a hype in the so-called conscious community, people who are exploring spirituality and stuff like that. And they come here, and it's a really hyped up, charged environment, which is really interesting, I gotta say. We've made another video on this channel sort of talking about that, about the, conscious community thing and stuff like that. That was released last year. But basically, I find it really interesting. But I saw this vibe in LANTA that it was more down-to-earth people, like more like authentic hippie vibes, and more like, just like nobody trying to be anything that they're not, which is something you do. People trying to be something that they're not is something that you see to an outrageous degree in places like Tulum and Ubud in Bali, like these spiritual shaman type life coach people and stuff like that. And here in PHANGAN as well, I'd say the most egregious is Tulum. Bali would be a second, and Koh PHANGAN is a place where you have lots of these types of people offering, I don't know, everything from you know, crystal healings, whatever, distance healings for distance Reiki healings for dogs in Los Angeles. I don't know. So, but I didn't feel that vibe at all there. It was just sincere people enjoying their life. And the owner of the bar, Julian, was very lovely, and people just seemed immediately more authentically friendly on Lanta, which is something that I feel that probably is something that PHANGAN used to have that vibe. I also noticed there were a lot more backpackers there, like young backpackers. Well, maybe not a lot more, but it was noticeable proportionally more. Like, I feel that PHANGAN is more like these people in their 30s, 40s, whatever, like me, who are like wanting a place where they can settle down and be spiritual. And, you know, yeah, in Hadrin you have lots of backpacker energy and stuff like that, but that's segregated here. But there it was all together. The strip is smaller, I suppose. And lots of sort of like people who have retired there and traveled there. More just like normal vibes of a place that's special. I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, and so the second night we played this place called Ivory Bar, and run by a lovely German lady named Annika, and this was awesome. This is the type of venue I'd love to have here. Reggae themed bar, focused on being a live music venue, restaurant, clothing store, and just a really nice setup for our show. And we rocked it. It was Monday night, and yeah, mostly filled with backpackers. People who looked like backpackers, at least, like in their 20s and stuff like that, which was really refreshing. And it was really awesome. And I was looking around the island, and it's much more rustic and undeveloped than here. And the locals like are a lot more like smiling at you on the street and stuff like that when you're walking around. It has this much more untouched vibe, and that's why a lot of people might be drawn to it as the next Koh PHANGAN type place, because this place is becoming increasingly, I don't know, commercialized, gentrified. You can use all those words for it, which I don't mind as long as I can still meet interesting people. And there's lots of interesting people, interesting in good ways and bad ways, as I could seem to some people in certain contexts if they met me. For example, yeah. So what else? I don't know, like, yeah, what the influence of the Muslim culture would be if that place goes the direction of PHANGAN would. You know, here I feel with the local population, it's kind of a live and let live sort of thing. But it's obvious that the people there are much more religiously conservative than other places in Thailand that are Buddhist majority. So that could be a factor that would keep it from transforming into something like this. But the snapshot I got was a really sort of laid back, underdeveloped sort of place with potential, definite potential. There's enough there, enough expats, enough of a scene that it would be an awesome place to be if you manage to meet the right people. But here there's just so many more people to choose from, so many more places to go. I only saw like 2 or 3 yoga studios there, whereas here there's tons. Like, there's a yoga studio right there called Boiler Room, for example. It just all sort of seems like, yeah, if you're looking for a new place, which you can check out, that could be like this was 15 years ago, go there. Yep, totally. But I'm really into the fact that what makes a place like Koh PHANGAN special is entrepreneurs and people, artists, creative people moving to a place and doing their thing. And the result of this right now, here, is great for me right now. Now that might change, right? Who knows? It's shifting rapidly. But there's enough of that there to be interesting for us to have 2 great, successful gigs in places that are, you know, run by expats and stuff like that, and definitely attract the right type of people for our music, which is world music, rock fusion music. And yeah, but I think maybe it would be a little bit boring compared to here in the long run if I were to move there now. So that's pretty much the readout, but it was lovely. I love the place. They're different vibes. Check them both out. and I hope you really enjoy that whole scene over there and here. This place still has a lot going for it, which is really great. It's not Bali or Tulum yet. It's not overpopulated yet, even though this year there's a bit of a housing crisis or accommodation lack of availability in the high season. We'll see how that pans out in the low season and how it transforms after that. And I'm just really happy that I went and saw the new place and that I liked it so much. Also, Ao Nang was worth spending a night in. Yeah, it was worth it. So keep on traveling, keep on nomading, and thanks for watching this video. And find the places around the world where you feel you fit. Find the places around the world that inspire you and be there and travel between them. Or find one that's so special you want to settle down and start a business and add to the community, as lots of people here have done. Coming from around the world, that's what makes this place great. You know, that's what makes it so interesting. And I'm just in love with this mix of cultures that's possible in these places. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll catch you later. Bye now.